All right. There we go. Let's try and fix there it is here. All right. There we go. All right, so we left off with that. We did those. All right, so we need to kind of just essentially do all the text, which is going to be super fun. I think I need to. Okay, so that. All of those things up here. Oop, that's not what I meant. That. Okay, so we're just gonna slide these layers up away from everything else. Okay, so now everything can be graded into this folder. All right. So that'll just kind of keep everything a little bit more together. So this, let's see. Okay, so that's that bit. So we're just gonna just rasterize that. And then we can merge those so they're on the same layer. Okay, that's all on the same layer. That I want separate. Leave that. That is. And that's part of the. Do that. But this can all be put here. Alright. So we're just kind of organizing things a little bit. Now we need to do text. So yeah, text we need to put in. Yeah, for the details on the card, I'm just copying an Eevee card. Just so everyone is on the same page. We're just copying the card that I'm looking at. That's not what I. Okay. So this is where it gets a little funky. I don't love how they handled the. Nope. I don't love how they handled the. Personally, it's not my favorite. All right, so then I'm going to duplicate that layer. I'm going to make this. Yeah, I forget how I did it last time because it's been 2 weeks. I think I just made it faster, selected it, and then expanded the selection. I don't even need to make it a raster. Let's look. I do one. Hit this. Okay, yeah. So, and then shift, that, and then we're going to invert that selection. I'm going to expand that. 3 pixels might be a bit much. No, I think that's probably right. Okay. So now, wait. I'm going to and see, now I have to. Yeah, so I should have just gone on this. I didn't need to copy it. I did. I could have just made a new layer. Let's boost the size of the brush here, just to make sure we're getting everything. All right, so now we have that retrieved correctly. That's good. Okay, so then I can, well, we'll just delete. So yeah, that's what it looks like, because it's up above it, but it's dropped below. There we go. All right, so then that we're gonna zoom out. Okay. So now we have that. Now we need to do resistance. Resistance is going to be the same size. Just, I guess we could duplicate that. Oop. Okay. Next, grab that and we over right around here, I guess. Okay, and then again we're going to grab this, to come in here, hit that, bam, bam, bam. We're going to invert that, expand it by 3 pixels, pop a new layer in here, and pen, and we're just going to fill this up. And we're going to zoom back out, and we're going to unselect that. Great. And then we can do duplicate this one, and we will do next. And slide this over to the very end here. I might need to slide this to the side a little bit, but technically I think these are all a little bit too big, so we might have to go in and link a message. But we'll start with fully typing. Nope. Then I have to make fighting energy simple. That's fun. Okay, done with that. We can hit the magic wand again. Hit that. Zoom in again. Whoop. Whoops. Nope. Shift. Invert it. Expand. Okay. New layer in here. Back to my pen and fill it in. All right. Cool. All right. So let's do. We're gonna rasterize these layers. And then we're going to combine these. Nope, other way around, so it still says the word. And again, I might kind of adjust the size of these because they're a little big compared to what they're meant to be. Okay, we can do that. Hit this and then shift. Okay, so I think that's the right side. Resistance, let's hit this. Just kind of see, yep. Okay, treat. I think those are all pretty much where they need to be now. Resistance might need to slide a smidge. Let's do that quick. Just a smidge. Alright, so then let's move all of these down here. I'm going to merge those into one layer. X and black and okay. And do two just separate from that. All right. A little bit closer. Here, and slide this over. I mean, it's definitely not that. exactly what I'm looking for, but that's okay. I can kind of work with it. This one doesn't get white backing. I probably could if I wanted to, but I think it'll work all right. We'll just do that. Can I rasterize layer? Grab this and slide it over here. And we're going to, actually before I do that, here for a second, pen, and we're going to zoom in, brush size. I'm going to change it to eraser. Okay. That's a little bit more what we're looking for in terms of that should look. I'm gonna shrink this down a smidge. So it fits a little bit better. Get a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. Yeah, right about there, I think. Okay. Zoom out here. So then I need to make a circle similar to these. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this down here. Just gonna merge that with the text layer. Pop a new layer in here, and we're going to make a circle. Probably a couple. Yeah, I think it's 2 circles. Make a... Always line it. Okay. So I need the ellipse. And we'll start bigger. Doesn't really matter. Nope. Control, Shift. I forget. Whatever. Okay, so we got that. Now, need to duplicate the layer. And shrink this up. Okay. Then I need to with the magic wand and gradient. Light. Okay, so that's how and that's good to know. Light brown. Dark brown. Be all right. Actually, I guess it would be there. Oh, yeah. guess they're not like a radial, I mean, radial gradient. There we go. Let's do that. There we go. Guess I need to kind of that's too much, so let's have this color, we'll put that, and we'll hit this, do this. Okay, so this. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so that's not quite it either. I think we'll roll with that, just because that's kind of where we're at. All right, and let's see. So this with that, and we do boom. Come in here. Not bad. Okay. So now, I need to make that shape. All right. Pretty straightforward. Pop a new layer in here though. I'll go down here and hit the rectangle. And those corners a little bit. And we're gonna make another one of that same one. Copy and two. Okay. And then now we can make another one that's a little bit shorter. So it can be overlapping. Check that. But okay. Is that the same? That is real close. That is pretty good. Okay. Okay. Okay, copy and paste that, grab that, and shift that over this side. Great. All right. We've got that. Now we need, okay. Here, this. So we need right here, all the way across. There, and then here, about there, like that. And now, zoom in here real quick. going to do this, and we're going to shrink down, I guess. We will put so it needs to be a little bit different. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go about halfway down, and then a little bit more aggressive over here. Well, about there, about there. Nope. Back it up a little bit deeper. Dang, dude. Okay. There we go. All right, so now we just need to kind of round these out a little bit, and we should be all right. So I guess I could probably make it a little bit wider. Okay, so do kind of round that out. Round that out. And round this out. Okay, so that'll pretty much be it. Now we can put this brush back up and zoom out. I'd say that looks pretty darn good. All right, so let's go ahead, check this. So we want that and that to be separate from this. So this all right here can merge together. Go ahead and grab that. Just like that. Great. Alright, so we got that set up. So I want to kind of we will merge these two together. And then we will duplicate those so I have them for other stuff. That together. And we will shrink this down. And it should be about that. Yeah, a little bit smaller, obviously. Get in here. Think about that side. We'll start there. Okay. And let's go ahead. We can merge these together too. Hide that. Alright, let's look at cardigan. should be on the other side. But other than that, pretty much where it should. I think how big it should be at least. In here. All right, so we're gonna put it here. Okay, and we're gonna go to tags. So we're gonna grab this, slide that over to right up there. Now I need this. Around that, and we are going to total line right here. Actually, that should not be on that one. Put on this layer. Great. That's kind of set up. Could make that L shape on the top better. So let's try and do that. Let's go here, and we're going to make it linear again. Close that. And erase. This guy. Wish it wasn't. We'll just do that. It's fine. Okie dokie. So here, want we want this. Yeah, okay. Probably get that. Try it. What I'm looking for. Out there, that'll work. Okay, and now do this, do that, and pump the size of the brush up here. And then, all right. Find over where we're going with that. Let's try putting this here. Doesn't need to be perfect. It looks closer. That's good enough. Should be that. Let's do that. And then invert that to new layer. We're going to just slide this ever so slightly. that with black. Alright. Drop that underneath. Oh. Yeah, something like that. But probably go a little bit lighter. Alright, so let's wait, that's better, I think. Kind of gives it more of the look I was going for, which is good. Alright, so we got that. Merge those together. Alright, so then I apologize, this is probably kind of boring and I'm very sorry, but working on it. Alright, so then that's this rectangle on the corners. 60. Actually, we're probably just gonna really round those corners. Oh yeah, it would probably help if I actually had that thing. Corners. Better under that. Closer, I think. Okay, grab that. Let's slide that over around here. Is that? There we go. That's kind of the shape I'm looking for. Alright. Cool. Now, copy and paste, shrink this down a smidge. Okay, I think that'll work. Okay, And let's do again. Then can I would like okay. Funky. Well, it's straight up just going to be a focus. Alright. Right. And not so right. That's pretty good. Cool. That'll work. We'll do that, and then we will go down here, and we will select this guy again. Right, kind of in the middle. Marker on the edge. All right. It's pretty good. That'll work. All right. Okay, so then again, do that. Here, a new text layer in here. Ability, and I want that to be and I want that and italic. All right, that'll work. Okay, so then go with red. Evolution. We don't need italic. Probably select it all and then undo the italic. Make that a bit. And then a little bit. Okay, I think that's pretty close. All right. Come that smidge and a little bit. Oh, probably could have designed the card better and left a little bit more kind of room in this area rather than going ahead and kind of covering everything, but you live, you learn. Let's do strives. Next time. Post a loop doesn't do that, I guess. Alright, anyway. Okay, so we've got that set. The other one we don't need to mess with, but we can rasterize it. Alright. And let's grab one here. Hit that, and let's move it in. Shift these inside bits, and then invert that, expand that. Probably right. Alright. I don't have to put it here. Alright. That. My pen. Zoom out a smidge so I see everything. Alright. And evolution. Right. Then that can be that. Let's just gonna merge all of these together. And we're gonna go down here to merge the text layer. All right, and text. Why is that? Oh, there we go. All right. We're gonna go ahead and shrink that down a smidge. Slide it over. There we go. That's better. I'm gonna shift here. And then we can. Oh, yeah. Should probably make that black. Now we can rasterize the layer. I'm going to this. And let's zoom in here. It's going to be a little bit more involved. Up. Okay, now we've got that. We can invert the selection and expand it by 3. A new layer in here. Just drag it underneath. Go back to the white. And zoom out. Okay, so I don't know if I'm seeing it. Seems to be fine. Real quick, bump the brush size up so I make sure I don't miss it. Oh. All right. And hit that. But we might need to expand a smidge more than that. We were looking at that card. A little bit in between these two, but that's not quite enough, I feel like. It's all right. But I could expand that. I think. Let's just real quick try that. I'm just gonna expand it like, I guess we could look at another 3 pixels, probably a little bit too much for being real. And things always look different when it's printed versus like on a screen anyway. So let's invert that, expand it by 3. Yeah, we'll just roll with that. Just to make it easier to read it, because it's a little bit smaller than the rest of it. Well, most of it, anyway. All right. Yeah, I'd say that's a little bit better. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, now we need to do merge. Drop this down. Merge. All right. And back to next. We're gonna do and all of it. Let's get in here. Alright, there we go. Make that black. Make that black. Alright. And yeah, we're gonna fold that. And yeah, I guess we can probably fold this to, maybe not. Okay, yeah, I think that would hold as well. Okay, that's fine. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, so yeah, we'll roll with that. This one we will bring in a little bit. Yeah, like that, I think. This one, yeah, we'll bring it in a smidge as well. So no. Same layer here. Level layer. Same level. All right. So we're just gonna rasterize these layers. Now we're going to hit this, hit that, zoom in here, shift, select more. All right, and then invert, expand. Okay. Layer in here, under, and hit my pen. All right. Now we need this over here. Wand again. Shift, do that, invert it, expand it. Great. Up down here again and just use that. And bam. Awesome. All right, so we can zoom out here, but and shift merge, and then let's grab that and that. Shift this up to right about there, so it's right in line with those. Roughly in line with those. And put it like right there. Great. Okay. Now we can bring that back down here. Back. Merge. Great. Now we need to do one more thing of text. Guess I could put the little blurb on the bottom. I don't know if I want to go that far. It's pretty detailed already. I guess we can put it in just for the fun of it. Oh, I'm not annoying. Oh. Great. Right, so now this. Whack. Let's look at this. I don't want that to be too home. Ooh. I just want Ariel? No. I don't think anything is going to be what I'm looking for necessarily. That one's closer. We'll just leave it alone and then I'll kind of fix it. It's fine. Yeah, okay, there we go. Cool. We'll leave that like it is. I'll just erase it and fix it. Or I guess I could. Yeah, we'll do that. And again, just kind of erase it and fix it. Just a little bit easier. All right. Cool. That's that. We can here. What should be right here? All right, that'll be good. So we will rasterize this. Wish I could space that better. We'll do that for right now, and I'll just slide that section. No. Do that. Okay, there we go. Now we'll rasterize it, and I will grab. Oops. Yeah, that's not gonna beat that. All right, let's grab this. Do zoom in here. Shift. Yeah, put it like right there, I think. Nope. Nope. Oh, right. Yeah, okay. I'm like, why is it not doing? That's why. And shrink this down real quick. Zoom. Eraser. That's closer. All right. So yeah, we're back over here. We're gonna hit that and slide over to the front. All right. Shift up, 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 up. All right. I really wish there was like a little bit better text setup. It was easier to work with text in this program. That's like one of the things that I wish was a little bit different. That's a small part of this. It's really not for. I mean, there's there is obviously manga application to the program and stuff like that, but I don't know if they make a little bit more, makes a little bit more sense when you're using it that way rather than like an illustration setup, because there is a difference. You can set up for animation, story, so there's probably a difference in how you set everything. So I'm not gonna complain about that. Oh yeah, I need to put my name down here in the corner. Alright, anyway. That would be smart. Merge. Drop it down and merge. Cool. So yeah, I guess I'll put my name. Yeah, we'll start there, I guess. All right. Oh yeah, this is a totally different font. Yeah, it's fine. Just take the that. Yeah, I'll just take the what do you call the feet? Yeah, I'll take the things off the feet. The feet off of the eye. And yeah, I need the black. Done. Let's try this. All right. So now let's get in here real quick. Pen. Shrink the brush up. And I guess I literally, yeah, okay, let's do that. I'll just grab one of these and chop the top off. That seems like an easier way to set this up. There we go. Enough. Maybe a smidge more. Yeah, hopefully there. There we go. All right, now merge that. I'm going to grab this and we're going to shrink it down. And then, yeah, let's set up funsies. I'll go back. Text. Merge. Alright, and then we'll put a new layer in here. 2, and a rectangle. Like 60 is a pretty good one. We're just gonna go with a full box. Right. And we're going to like that real quick. We're going to make that black. I'm going to shrink that. Go right. We're going to shrink that. Go black. And I'm going to go up. Text. Okay, so then that's gonna be the set, I guess, the Eevee Sleepy. Just because it's so stupid, but it's fun. You know? And let's fold that, I think. Yeah. Just because it is kind of. Alright. This will be here. Okay, we might need to yeah, we might need to change this a little bit, but take that. No, cancel that. Alright, so then we need this one. Yeah, it's gonna be this one. This one, we're going to, and we're just gonna slide this over. Right. This, actually, yeah, let's hit this one here. Hold that as well. There we go. That looks okay. Raster. You might want to go a little bit closer together on this. And then X one more time. Whoop. Yeah, I need to slide that. Merge. This needs to come down here somewhere. Fine. All right. So yeah, and then yeah, let's hit this, and we'll do I guess. Don't look like that. It's a little bit more like that. So we'll roll with that for that. And is that what I had before? I went to the other thing? Maybe. Yeah, it's fine. Let's just make that. Say. Cool. Alright, so then we need to change that to black. Okay. Great. And no. Up. Okay, so wait, you can do line, space, line. Okay, so you can change stuff. I wish it was a little bit more intuitive. Oh. Space alignment. Okay, so you can adjust some stuff, but there's not a whole heck of a lot. Like, you can't outline it, I guess. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, that's whatever. Okay, so we'll just do that. And rasterize. So then one again. Hit that. Shift up, up. Invert. Expand. 3. New layer. Drop that underneath. Back to my pen. And outline. Cool. Back to my thing. Do that. Let's shift. Merge. Alright. And we're gonna up, and I didn't do this yet. We need to do that. Cool. Should be a little bit below that. Bring that down to the text layer. Nope. First there. Okay. And I assume this gives you. Alright, let's go exactly how it works on the card, that'll work. Just like that. Shit. Nope. Drop it. Just that kind of in the middle. All right. Pasteurize that. Drop it down here. Merge, select layer. I can just put it in here. We're going to drop the size of it. And all right, so then this first off, black. And we want, I think we want trim shade. Yeah. Plus. It's fine. All right. This one is actually justified. They didn't include a hyphen or apostrophe. Yeah, apostrophe, hyphen, apostrophe. They didn't include an apostrophe. Very interesting. All right. So that's fine. We're going to rasterize that and then hit it with our magic wall. All right. Let's zoom in here. Shift. Top. And bottom. All right, I think that's all of them. All right, so again, invert, expand, 3 pixels. Yeah, it should be. It's not going to be that important. It's not super important, so I'm not going to worry about it being not enough. All right, pen. All right, bring back out. Bam, bam. There. change this border to make it look like it has a little bit of shine to it real quick, but then we're done. Tag to merge. Okay, so this fighting one we're just gonna drop all the way to the bottom here. Border. Cool. Alright, so we're going to like that. Yeah, okay, so then I want to how am I gonna do it? Guess I could kind of duplicate things. Okay, and then let's pop a new border layer. This. Okay, I think I want to go a little bit in the dark. Yeah, okay. Try that for one. Yes, okay, and then back down here, this one, I'm going to that. All right, and then over here, undid it. All right. Yeah. And let's bump up the brush. Okay, that's good. Cool. That is how we can get that shine to it. Whoop. Just a little bit there. Good now. Yeah, I think that came out really nice. It looks like a card, which is crazy. So now we have a little bit of time to work on the next one. All right. Okay. Probably ditch that now, right? Or no, ditch first one? Let's look. Oh yeah, we're gonna ditch this one. Okay, delete. All right, so we've got the card details, and then we've got illustration numero uno. So pop a new folder here. I'm probably going to have to start this on a whole new thing, which is fine, but oh yeah, because I don't even have it in here, do I? No, I do. Okay, thumbnails in here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know which one. I kind of dig the Espeon. kind of want to do the Espeon, but anyway, let's see. Okay, so we got this all set up. Card looks amazing. I'm super happy with that. Now, I'm going to kind of do a whole new one. All right, fine. I'm gonna start with keep it all similar. All right, great. Now let's first off go ahead and save this, or something happened. Should have done that a while ago. You should always save your stuff regularly. Much smarter. Yeah, okay, so then do that, pop this open, we will that. And we're gonna zoom in here. Necessary to grab that part now, totally, but going to boop, boop. Wish I'd done a little bit more detail to this. Yeah, that's probably all right. Now, pencil. Boom. Grab this purple. All right. So the next card I'm gonna start is Espeon. So that's exciting. Yeah. And I've already got kind of a thumbnail sketch going. Now it's more of, where is this happening? So here's a window, and it's at night. Because I wanted to do Umbreon and Espeon the opposite of when you evolved them. Makes sense to me. So that's why it says night down at the bottom, and over on the other one it says day. So, and then Eevee is included in all of these, sleeping with them. That's the whole thing here. Yeah, so there's Eevee, and there's like with the plushies, Flareon. I think that I put a fire. I think that's supposed to be a fireplace. I don't remember. Chilltendo. There's no information other than this is how they're sleeping, like with each other, in like the pose in which they're sleeping. All right, got that. And just need to like export everything. All right, but so here we are with the Espeon. So let's go ahead. Just so I have a picture of what's going on. There we go. So, yeah, let's drop the opacity on this to 50-ish. Alright, and zoom in a smidge. So, the way that's set up, I think they'll be in like a bed. Like a cat or dog bed type situation. Oops. I think I want to drop this to like a 30 is probably fine. All right. So let's do. Like I have the ears up in this. I don't know if I like that necessarily, but I do like this. This arm kind of come out. Interesting because there really isn't like a lot of definition for the front of the leg, for the legs. Official art, which is an interesting little thing. Alright, so we got that. I like. Whoops. Alright, then let's just. Up right now. And then yeah, for the ears, I kind of want it to almost like lay them back. Edge, kind of like that. Let's undo that one. So, kind of that, I think. Look at some. I think that's a pretty good starting point. I'm gonna try and draw this kind of like fully. That I guess. Alright, and then yeah, the tail is gonna come up. hide this real quick. Okay. That's kind of how I have it set up. I don't like how close that is. I don't think that's necessarily where that would be. Probably be behind that, so I'm gonna leave it that way. I want that to have a little bit more meat to it. Okay, so then, yeah, we want that tail. I think I have it a little bit too far out. I want it to kind of wrap underneath Eevee there. I'm gonna back that up a little bit. Okay. We're going to kind of pull it there, rather. Okay, that's better. Just use an actual eraser here real quick. So I don't want to adjust the size of my pencil, but I also don't want to be erasing for half an hour. There we go. Cool. I need to look at some versions of Espeon. The shape of it really is. It is what it is. People give it more shape, but that's kind of it. All right. Could soften that point for sure, but I think overall that just kind of is what it is, which is fine. So here, I'm gonna soften that up a little bit. I'm just gonna put the nose like right there, I guess. Actually, yeah. Just any more official stuff where the eyes are closed? Because why would there be? It includes the little. Okay, so we're going to ditch this because that's bad. That's so much better. It is wild. Just turning something a little bit. Yeah, just need to include just kind of like that crease. Oop, got a little bit close there. Alright, so we got that. Actually pretty accurate sizing for that, but it does need to move down. Down. I think it's this ear is off, I think. But yeah, we can kind of adjust things as we go. Okay, I think that kind of sets that up. Good. Now I need to put in my Eevee. A new layer in here, and I'm just gonna try and kind of place it here. Fluff. Tail over here. Okay, grab this little guy. And let's grab the front half at least. Kind of shift that over. No, that's not too bad. Chrome. Yeah, kind of rotate it like right there. Not bad. All right, so now let's go ahead. We'll erase that out. This out. Cool, cool. And here we'll this over here. We go. It's pretty close. Use that. Oops. Use that. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's almost time. I think we've made a pretty solid amount of progress. Let's grab up. Let's just this. I want to kind of see if we slide this over like right here. That makes a little bit more sense. Okay. And get in here. To ditch this. And we're gonna do this at least. Okay, so then, and then we can get here, that, go the opposite, and delete that. All right, and then I want to put in that here, pencil. We're going to put in okay, so let's do no, that's fine. Okay. This nonsense and delete that. All right. Let's see here. So we're gonna put that right there. We're gonna come forward. Right there. I think is kind of where we want that. Yeah. All right, so I think that's pretty much kind of everything as far as that sketch goes. I dig it. I think it looks pretty good so far. This, and we can kind of throw in wall. Wall situation, you know. and calm. Kind of like that. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then yeah, there was going to be window. Go that in real quick. Moonlight. Light. Okay, and then yeah. Dark out there. A little bit of moonlight coming through. All right. Oop. Well, yeah, we want to bring that back down to 30, which it was. Zoom out. Zoom in a little bit. Nope. Okay, right there. So that's where we're at. With this one, I think we got a solid start going. So, hopefully, everyone comes back and sees how it's going. Always a pleasure to have you hang out with me while I work. Yeah. That's that one, and then we've got the right there. Nope, we don't need that. We just need the top bit. So yeah, let's see. So we finished this one. I think it looks like an actual card, so that's cool. And we got started on the next one, which is also cool. I'm really excited to kind of go through this whole series. I think it'll look pretty neat, and it hasn't been done before in like actual like cards. Not a lot of sleepy Pokemon cards, aside from Snorlax, I guess. But in the one Eevee that is promo, I guess, that I based that I took all the information for this one on. But I thought it'd be cool to do like a whole series of sleeping Eevee and evolutions. So hopefully everyone enjoys it. I'm having fun. I think it looks awesome. I think it came out real nice. It looks like a real card, kind of. I mean, the art is, but some of the actual art on some of the actual cards is sometimes not, to me, obviously, that it was awesome enough to get chosen for official art, but sometimes theirs are like, I think they missed the mark on it. Never bad stuff. I think they missed the mark on occasion. And I definitely missed the mark on occasion in plenty of my art, but I've had a lot of fun with this. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, I'm going to continue doing each evolution, so there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 more cards. I think I'll be able to get through all of it before I need to take a break and do something else. But I may take a break in between some of them, depending on just how I'm feeling. But again, I think the first one turned out awesome. I think the next one will be hopefully even better, and we'll see. I'm having fun. Hopefully you're having fun. And if you want to see the final product, you can check out my Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Kara. Those are all at Zann20. You can find me on most social media as at Zann20. TikTok, oh yeah, and Tumblr. as well at Zann20. TikTok is different, Zann20_art for that one because it was already taken. But yeah, and I post my time lapse from the last stream on to TikTok first, the morning I'm going live. So if you want to follow that to get notified, that's the first place it goes up, and then it goes up to my other social medias. So if you just follow any of them, you should be notified. That's great. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you miss a stream and you want to go see it, or you want to just check out old streams, you can find them all archived on my YouTube channel, also Zann20. Just look for my face as the profile. That's my YouTube. But they're all archived there under the lives. So from day one till now, every single live stream I've done is archived there, which is pretty cool if you ever wanted to check those out. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it, and